Hello, readers of Every Word, and welcome to Every Word 365. I'm your host, Christina Madsen. Today we're reading Job 4 through 7. Jumping to conclusions is not nearly as good as an exercise as digging for the facts. The Bible tells us to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. That's in James 1:19. Take a counseling lesson from the book of Job. What situation today requires you to act as a referee? Spend adequate time looking at all the issues first. Give your counsel only after thoughtful, prayerful consideration of all the facts. That, of course, is in today's My Daily Walk in our Bibles. And then below that in bold print, it says, "No one gives advice with more enthusiasm than an ignorant person." Ouch! Let's be honest, we all know people like that, right? Maybe, just maybe, we've been that person. I encourage all of us to really listen to ourselves. Do we give advice when it's not warranted and or not wanted? Is the person you're speaking to just wanting to share/vent? Are you actually qualified to give good advice? As you'll see with Job, we don't always get good advice from our friends and loved ones, which is why God's word should always be our ultimate advisor. Here's some advice on how to be quick to listen and slow to speak from Got Questions. Most of us are not naturally quick to listen, but we can train ourselves to be better listeners. Good listening is active. It engages with the speaker. It understands the speaker's perspective, even if we disagree. When people feel heard, they are more willing to listen to our side. Being quick to listen actually opens the door to greater communication because listening shows respect. And when people feel respected, they are more likely to return that respect and listen to us. It is important for us to be quick to listen and slow to speak. God's word always shows us the best way, and when we follow it, we are blessed. Some great advice for no matter what relationship you're thinking about, whether it's a spouse or a mom or dad or a sibling or a work relationship. Learning how to be quick to listen can be very beneficial. So I'm including a link from Got Questions on that. Also on Eliphaz, which is the friend that we hear from today. So I'm including a link with more on Eliphaz the Temanite, and this is from that link. Eliphaz is an example of someone responding with the world's wisdom to suffering. It made sense to Eliphaz that suffering was the consequence of sin, and that if a person suffered, he was being punished by God. However, Eliphaz was wrong. Job's life is a clear example of how sometimes the innocent suffer. God can use suffering as part of his divine plan to strengthen a believer's life and to change the lives of others for his glory. Take a look at this Bible study. I never may have given my life to Christ if I hadn't gone through the suffering of losing my own dad. And as awful as that was, I can now look back and look at the good and look at the glory that has come from that suffering. I hope that makes sense. Tomorrow is Job 8 through 10. Happy reading.